Around 1920, North Syracuse volunteer firemen had their own band. As you can see, it was mostly brass instruments with a few clarinets and drums. These men were famous for their music and played throughout the area. First police car in North Syracuse in the early 1950s was car number 141. Photo was taken on the east side of the Masonic Temple on Church Street, which no longer is in existence, and a new Masonic Temple building was built to replace it on Centerville Place next door to the community center. North Syracuse Baptist Church. In 1847, the Plank Road Baptist Society was formed with a membership of 28. They were meeting in homes and barns for 7 years. In 1854, the first wooden building was built for $1,500. It soon was too small for the growing population, and in 1940 was raised to make room for a larger church. The congregation was moved temporarily to the Amiel Building, which was built in 1928 and still stands next to the old North Syracuse Cemetery. At one end of the building was 3 bowling alleys and a basketball court. In 1948, the Amiel was purchased by the North Syracuse School District and was used as their administration building. They also held temporary classrooms. The bottom photo shows the present-day Baptist Church, built on the same site as the original building on Main Street, and their first service was held in 1949. Alfred G. Ferguson's home next door to Main Street School. The Fergusons have lived in North Syracuse since 1826. Alfred William Ferguson is currently the youngest of the local Fergusons at present and is the 7th generation. His great-grandfather, Alfred C. Ferguson, donated the land to the school district for the Main Street Elementary School in 1924. Currently on the opposite side of the Ferguson homestead is the Ferguson Funeral Home, built in 1956. This photo was taken in 1903. Note the carriage house in the back and the car carrying some of the Ferguson family. Old North Syracuse Library. The original building was built in the 1870s and deeded to the library by Anna Marsh Reed, where at one time she taught school in the front room. This building was torn down in 1976, and the brick building was built, which was used until the new library was built on the corner of South Bay and Church Streets. The brick building on 210 Main Street is now owned by NSCA Teachers Union. First schoolhouse built in North Syracuse in 1869. This was located in the area where is now in the vicinity of Geddes Bakery. The structure was painted yellow. The photo was taken June 3, 1892. The cost of construction was $3,000. The upper floor was high school and the lower floor elementary school. Note the clothes the children wore in those days, probably their Sunday best. The second school in North Syracuse was called Centerville School, built in 1913, grades 1 through 12. There was no kindergarten back then. The building cost about $7,000 to erect at that time. The location was on Main Street in North Syracuse. One school covered the whole surrounding area. The elementary was on the first floor and the high school on the second also. Note the different style of clothing from the first school photo of 1892. Inside a one-room schoolhouse in the early 1900s. This is a photo of a typical one-room schoolhouse with desks, a blackboard, and a potbelly stove. Note the teacher in the back. In those days, there was no running water or electricity. The bathroom was an outdoor privy, as called. In some schools, all 8 grades were in one room. Sometimes only 1 or 2 pupils in a grade. When one of the grades went to the front for lessons, the other grades were supposed to be studying. There were no buses then, and consequently the children walked to school. The drinking fountain then was a 10-quart pail with a small tin dipper. Try to imagine what a school day was 100 years ago, and compare those students' lives with yours today. Brown School was one of the North Syracuse District schools located on Buckley Road where the Baptist Church now stands, just north of the corner of Buckley and Bear. The first building was built of brick in 1844. A new one-room wooden schoolhouse replaced it in 1913. In 1926, it was enlarged and divided into 2 rooms, grades 1 to 4 on the right side and 5 to 8 on the left. This school has been replaced by the Baptist Church in 1977. The photos shown the class of 1870 and 1941. The Conway Schoolhouse, built in the late 1800s, was located at the corner of East Taft Road and Topman Road. It is now a part of the historical village at Toll Road Park. The school is currently in the museum with desks and many artifacts of the Plank Road era. On August 19, year 2000, 13 former students held a reunion at their one-room schoolhouse. They enjoyed the day. Main Street School, built in 1925, is the oldest in existence in the North Syracuse District. When first built, it was just used as a high school for the entire North Syracuse area. Later, it became both elementary downstairs and high school upstairs. It is presently used for the early education students. The land was donated by the Ferguson family next door. Today, it is called Main Street Elementary School. At the present time, this school is 82 years old and is still the same structure, except for a few additions and revisions. Churchill's Ice Cream Stoplight Restaurant, on the corner of Main Street and Ferguson Ave in North Syracuse in 1941. Charles Churchill was the owner. This was one of the gathering places for the high school students at the end of a school day, since it was a block away from Main Street School. The photo was probably taken in the early 1900s. At 304 South Main Street, what is now Barbieri's, was originally built in 1938 by Oscar G. Smith, born in 1892. He named the restaurant Oscar G. Smith's Dinner House, also known as Smith's Fish and Fry House. The name was changed from Smith's to Oscar's because of Smith's restaurant on the corner of Buckley Road, often called the Corner House, being the same name. This restaurant has always been noted as a family restaurant and has had several changes and additions. At this time, Barbieri's is planning another large expansion. L. Frank Baum, famous author of Wizard of Oz, published in 1900. He lived on the Plank Road. Mr. Baum moved from Chittenango in 1868 when he was 12 years old to a country estate named Roselawn in Mattydale, New York. He had many relatives on the Plank Road and in the North Syracuse area.